In addition to the expected knowledge in the areas of science, chemistry, physics, biology, and medical areas, it might surprise you to know that there are many other skills needed to be a biomedical engineer.
So I definitely use science and math on a pretty much daily basis in my job, but I think there are some soft skills that are really important. So probably the number one skill that I use the most is being able to work as a team member and having leadership skills, being able to lead teams of students and of, other researchers to work together, because a lot of the work we do really requires teamwork, because the problems we're trying to solve are really difficult, and so we need to bring together different backgrounds and people from all different walks of life to come up with solutions that will really work. So teamwork, I think, is probably number one. Also, going along with teamwork, good communication skills is really critical. So that's another sort of soft skill that I rely on, being able to run meetings, being able to send emails, being able to communicate very clearly with diverse sets of people so that we're all on the same page.
All right, so what skills are important for people interested in BME? The first one, it may not be fair to call a skill. I think it's important just to be interested in a lot of different things and excited about a lot of different things, willing to try different things. After that, I think there are a lot of different kinds of research within BME, and so you can often find something that fits what you're good at. So some of the work that we do involves a lot of computer programming, and if you like computer programming and you're excited about it, then those kinds of projects might work very well. But other research that we do maybe involves working with cells or doing experiments in the laboratory, and so if you really liked your biology laboratory classes that you took, then those might be good projects. So I do think there's some flexibility. One thing that we all have in common is communication. So it's important to be able to communicate with people both verbally and in writing. A lot of what we do is writing down and reporting what we work on. And so I think that one's really important. And I also think more so than in other kinds of engineering, it's important in every kind of engineering, but especially in BME, to be able to communicate with people who do something very different from what you do. And that can be tricky. You have to be able to explain what you're working on to someone who may not have taken any of the classes that you took, but still make them understand why it's important and what you're doing. So we spend a lot of time talking to doctors, talking to biologists, talking to people who have very different backgrounds, and that takes some practice.
Now, in career, once you are good at that and you're developing yourself, becoming a biomedical engineer, and you get to a point where you're now in that field, working in that field, from my own personal experience, you can find yourself interacting with physicians if you're in academics or if you're in industry. So you can find yourself interacting as a biomedical engineer, practicing biomedical engineer. You may be interacting with physicians, with people who work in marketing, with people who work in sales, with all kinds of customers, with suppliers. And so you want to have skills that are well beyond just those technical biomedical engineering skills. You have to be able to communicate verbally with people. You have to be able to communicate in writing with people. And so it's a field where, because you have so many interactions with all kinds of people, that communication and other soft skills are really equally important in BME, as equally as important as the sort of harder, computer programming or mathematics or modeling, those technical skills. You really want to have a mixture between strength and technical skills and strengths in things like communication, interacting with people.
So one of the things that's really important in science is the ability to communicate and to get your point across to really intelligent people that may not be in your field. So as a scientist, I actually write quite a bit. I write journal articles, so I've published over 40 articles. I write grants all the time, so that's how I get my money, is I have to write, and I don't get to talk to the people that are reviewing the grants. The only thing that they see and read is what I've written down there. So if I'm not doing it in a very effective, clear, but exciting way, it's not going to get funded, and then I can't do my research. There's communication that I have to do when I go out and travel. So I travel quite a bit to go and disseminate the scientific knowledge, so I can go give talks. I get feedback from my peers, so I know that I'm not doing something too crazy, that the field is interested in it. But also, they get to see what we're doing, and the science community learns from it and gets excited by it. So these skills of liberal arts, of being able to write, being able to synthesize information, being able to talk to people just without notes, or just being able to communicate, interpersonal skills are just really incredibly important to a scientist.
People talk a lot about the soft skills of biomedical engineering, about the importance of working with a variety of people, with doctors, with other engineers, with business people, and that's all great too. I focused a lot of my career and my teaching on hard skills, meaning engineering is more than just writing equations and solving equations and drawing a plan and thinking great thoughts. So much of it is about taking that and translating it into a physical thing or a piece of software, whatever it is, will actually do the job. And I think that's something that's often neglected in engineering education. And that's something that we bring to the fore, is again just the making of things, the making of the surgical device, the making of the piece of software that will help somebody. All these things are really enjoyable and something that I think the students come to appreciate. And besides, how are you ever going to design anything if you've never built anything?